There's like Jeopardy music playing in my head, like, who's gonna join?
Yeah, real questions. I think this is my favorite version to like do passive things too. Just because he sings.
I can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
Oh, y'all can't hear it?
Nope, not at all.
Hold on.
Is it playing through your computer?
It is playing through my computer.
When you hit screen share, did you hit optimize sound for?
I probably did not. Let me pause share.
Yeah.
Or stop share.
I think you might have to stop.
Yeah, let me stop the share.
And hello, if you guys are joining us, we're getting Ed set up and we'll be good and ready to get started.
We're so
Yes.
excited you're here.
So let me try that again. There we go. Ah. And everyone, we'll be getting started in a couple moments. Take some time to try and find the words in the word search.
You're muted, Jackie.
There we go. I'm pausing the share to get the presentation back up without the music. And then we'll jump right in. Welcome, everyone. My name is Jackie Thomas, and today we will be doing a quick presentation for you to get to know the people who were part of the selection process during this admission season. We're really excited to have you here and to hopefully share some more information about William & Mary, some of the events that we have coming up during our Days for Admitted Students, and hopefully some things that will help to make your decision a little easier or give you more insight about William & Mary. So I'm trying to get at a technical difficulty with Canva. So we're gonna get it together and start here. Hopefully everyone can see that. These are the words that were in that word search. Hopefully some of you all found them. They were all types of which ways, so we'll get started. Welcome again to the You Belong Meet the Dean session. This is just an opportunity for you to get any of your questions answered. Feel free to drop any questions that you have in the Q&A function. We'll be checking there periodically. I'm joined today by my wonderful colleagues, and hopefully we'll be able to get anything answered that you have on your mind or on the tip of your tongue or deep in your heart about the admissions process so far. So I want to stress here to share that we are part of your long college journey. We in undergraduate admissions are this small section at the beginning, but our diversity and access team takes a lot of pride in making sure that we're reading each one of your applications and selecting students from diverse backgrounds with tender love and care, if you will. Because it's done in a team fashion, I would like for my colleagues to introduce themselves to you all and share your name, what regions do you read for, and some of your specialties or interests. Thank you.
So unfortunately, our first dean, Monica Pinier, is having some technical issues. She's joining us this week from the mountains. I think she just got back, but she's having some Wi-Fi issues. But Monica is my counterpart in the admissions office. She works with our in-state transfer students and also works with our homeschooled population as well. If she can hear me and wants to join in, she's welcome to start introducing herself.
Hey everyone, apologize for that. I'm joining you guys from Asheville, North Carolina, and my internet is apparently spotty, but I would not miss the world. I'm so happy you guys are here, and we're just honored to have you here. I'm so excited. But yes, I work with Northern Virginia students, homeschool students, international students from Spanish-speaking countries, and transfer students, like my amazing colleague, John David, who was just introducing me. Thank you. But yeah, welcome everybody, and I'll let my other colleagues introduce themselves.
All right, so I think I am next. My name is Tish Kennedy. I'm an associate dean in the undergraduate admissions office at William & Mary. I'm also the director of this fantastic team that do everything imaginable to make my job, honestly, as easy as possible. But the bright side, the beauty of doing this work really is to get to work with you guys, you students, right? So this is, I always say that this is all that I have ever wanted to do, was work with students, and in particular, work with students from diverse backgrounds. It's my personal story, so the work is personal to me. But what's most important, of course, is for me to make sure, and for us to make sure to share with you guys the amount of intention that goes into getting to know you through this admissions process, and how much it means to actually get to communicate with you at this point in the process, right? So Jackie's going to show you guys a little bit later sort of where you are in this process. But in general, I work specifically with underserved students across the board. I work with students of color, first generation students, rural students, neurodiverse students, so students just across the board who are underrepresented on college campuses. In general, it is my joy to do so, and I'm excited that you guys are joining us today.
Hi, everyone. My name is JD Nichols. I'm an assistant dean of admission here as well. I work with our students coming from the Deep South, which is often considered in our offices West Virginia, Tennessee, Kansas, Missouri, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and one other state that I think I'm missing. But I also work with students from Maryland and Southwest Virginia as well. Just because I might have forgotten a state does not mean that I don't care about you all. It's just hard to remember those states in order. But additionally, I love working for this team because I am a former member of the William & Mary community myself. I transferred to William & Mary starting my sophomore year, finished my last 2.5 years at William & Mary, and immediately started working in this office. You can tell that my love for the school runs deep because I am fully committed to kind of sharing my own experiences and love for this school with future generations of William & Mary students. I always like to mention as well that I kind of came into my own identity during my time at William & Mary and was able to connect with aspects of myself that I hadn't been able to before, whether it be my sexual identity or also my racial identity as a half Costa Rican man. I always felt like I was too white or not Hispanic enough. And the William & Mary community fully embraced me in all aspects of my identity, whatever they may be. And so while our experiences are all different, know that every part of your being will be accepted here at this university.
That's tough to follow. Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Madler. I am another one of the assistant dean staff. I am the regional dean for New England, but also Central and South Side and Shenandoah, Virginia. So kind of straight down the middle of the state of Virginia there, as long as it's, east of 64 or east of 81, I think. But I work specifically with, students who are coming from rural backgrounds, first gen low income backgrounds, and also serve with the neurodiversity group here on campus. It's really great to kind of see all of you all today, recognizing some names in all of the attendees that, I remember reading that application. So even though, we're not in person to see everyone face to face, it is really great to see everyone joining us today, and we're excited to share more information with you.
Thank you again, everyone. My name is Jackie Thomas. I'm Assistant Dean of Undergraduate Admission here. I also work with these fabulous people who introduce themselves on the Diversity and Access team. I get the pleasure of reading for the entire state of New York and the Richmond area. So it is nice to see some names that I do recognize from reading. And Megan gave us a great segue into our next slide. So just to give you some context of where you're at in the process, down at the bold, you're in the digital days for admitted students. And it's important to talk about where you're at in this application process as you go on your college journey. You've already been admitted, or our decision, our school has decided and really read with the TLC to really see that you're a good fit for the institution. And now you're in the in-between spot where you get to choose if you're going to swipe right on us and essentially give us your decision to enroll, defer, or deny. We see the days for the digital days for admitted students as an opportunity for you to learn more about the campus as you weigh your decision. We cannot stress enough that all of you are incredibly impressive, bright students, and we would love for you to come here. But in the process of making conscious decision making, we want to offer you all the information that you might need to make a good decision for yourself, best fit. Do any of my colleagues want to add anything here before we kind of go on to the ways that you can learn more?
I think I just want to emphasize maybe saying that we here, especially on this team, are here to kind of walk you through this process and help you however we can. We do want you to make the decision that is best for you. We aren't trying to force you to come to William and Mary. We hope that by showcasing all of these different aspects of our community and different kind of departments and programs and the amazing people that we have here, that you'll realize is the best fit. But we understand that factors go into that decision outside of our control, and we're happy to help walk you through those programs and those processes as best we can.
Absolutely. Thank you, JD. And that's where there are some points in here like financial aid packages, places to kind of point you in the direction where you would need to know to get more of the insight that might not be covered in our days for admitted students. So we're going to start by introducing you to the programming that matters, the ones that we are personally attached to. We're attached to all the programs, but these are the ones that we think do highlight some of our diverse offerings at the campus, academic, socially, as well as within research. So these are some of the three of the events that are You Belong events, one being our Diversity at William and Mary panel, which will also have students from diverse backgrounds there to answer your questions, our mock lecture, which I'm gonna ask JD to talk about on our next slide, and our WM Shore opportunity for the research opportunities through WM Shore, which I'm going to ask Tish to just touch on a little bit here. But these are programs you can register for all of these programs through your portal and get notification around what time they start. But put them in your calendar, put them on your calendar, just if these are things that interest you. Tish, could you add any more insight or just a quick overview of what the WM Shore panel will offer?
Right. So one of the things that I know as you guys have been looking at colleges and universities, one of the things that we hear people ask a lot of questions about is research, right? Like lots of students are trying to figure out the ways that they can get involved in research on college campuses. And for some students, they may have gotten the opportunity to do a little bit of research on the high school side, but for many of us, we really didn't get the opportunity to do research really until we were in college, right? And William & Mary Shore, one thing that's super unique about William & Mary is William & Mary Shore is research, but it is research dedicated to kind of supporting underserved students at William & Mary's campus. So this is honestly something that's pretty unique across universities, where you will always hear lots about research opportunities at universities, right? It's what we know is when you do research, you feel more connected to the material, you feel like you have a better understanding of whatever it is that you're studying. But we know that we needed to try and bridge that gap and make sure that more students who were first generation students and students of color, low income students, were having access to real research on the undergraduate level. And William & Mary Shore came as a result of that. So some of you in this room might be William & Mary Scholars. William & Mary Scholars, it's a scholarship at William & Mary that's connected to William & Mary Shore in some way. But the program was doing such good work that they decided to open it. So you do not have to be a William & Mary Scholar in order to participate in William & Mary Shore and reap the benefit of having an academic sort of guide throughout the research process and get that experience as an undergraduate student here.
Thank you, Tish. JD, can you offer us a little bit more lead-in, if you will, for the mock lecture that we have with Professor Carlos Rivera-Santana?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we started planning for the mock lecture portion of our You Belong programming, I reached out to a couple of different professors who I knew were from across campus, and they all recommended Professor Carlos Rivera-Santana. He is a new professor to William & Mary this year, and they could not speak highly enough about how engaging, brilliant, and dynamic he was in the classroom. And I think he will be an amazing example for you all to kind of get a kind of taste about what it might be like to take a class here at William & Mary, the types of professors that we have here who really try and work hard to make sure that they are creating engaging material for their students to kind of interact with and discuss. You'll come to understand that most of our classes here at William & Mary are going to be much more discussion based. And from my conversations with Professor Rivera-Santana, that is exactly what he wants this to be as well. He's hoping to really engage you with the two works that he's presenting to you today. Or not today, sorry, next week. But he is really looking forward to it. He has been following up with me via email and kind of just gearing up his excitement for this program. So I know that he's excited to meet you all and kind of share his expertise in the Latin American art realm and really just give you a good introduction into what it might be like to take a class here at William & Mary.
Thank you, JD. You've made me excited. I hope y'all are getting excited because I think I'm going to attend the lecture now. These are some of the other academic excellence and campus resource offerings that we think might be helpful to the students. Megan, I do want you to touch on what Flourishing in HD is, if you could, but these are some of the other ones that we encourage you to register on the portal about. Portal to learn more, especially in way of residence life, study abroad, academic advising. But Megan, can you tell me more about Flourishing in H8D?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that session. If there are any sessions to attend, that's definitely one of them. We have a fantastic presenter, Dr. Kelly Grace, who is sort of coordinating all of our wellness programs at William & Mary, so our counseling programs, but also, just general student support while you are here. It's a fantastic place. He's a great presenter. Highly encourage you all to come. And then, some of the other things on here, of course, we want to talk a little bit about the CALL curriculum. What the heck is that? How that applies to what your degree is and why that kind of offers an advantage. Study abroad opportunities. We have so many, and we have funding available for those opportunities. Of course, residence life. You want to hear all about the dorms and the dining plans and all of the nitty-gritty there. And then academic advising, how our advisors, like pre-major advisors and major advisors, and even pre-professional advisors, going to help you during your time here.
If I could pop in, I will say that I'm sorry, Jackie, I just popped right in here, but if I could, because you guys are also in kind of, I don't know if you've gotten the chance to get on some college campuses, but you'll see when you go up and down the list of events for Digital BFAS, there are so many opportunities for you guys to engage. And what we wanted to do was to try and get as much stuff out there as we could, knowing that this is a moment when you might not be able to get as much information as you would have at some other time. So we want to try and make sure William & Mary is wide open for you to be able to get all the pieces that you need to go back to our first point, to be able to make an informed decision, right? I think William & Mary is the best college in the world, obviously, because I just do. But at the same time, I know that a lot goes into the decision, and that it'll be a perfect fit for some of you guys, and it might not be the best fit for others. But I can speak for all of us in saying that we're way more concerned with you finding the right fit than we are with that fit being William & Mary. So as we make our way through this and we get to the questions, ask them candidly so that we're able to answer questions. And as you get to some of these sessions across this page or other sessions that you go to, ask the tough questions, right? Because if you can't get there in person and get your own feel for it, you're going to have to get those questions answered in order for you to know if this is the place that you want to invest the next however many years of your life in. So again, way more concerned with it being the right fit for you than us being that fit, if that makes sense.
Well said. Thank you, Tish. Thank you, Tish. Thank you, Megan, for going over these options. And yes, please feel free to ask us candidly the questions that you need answered in the Q&A section. Feel free to start asking those questions right now if you feel so imbued. The next couple of slides before we jump into the question, these are our student and family panels. These are some of the more fun panels. We had Peyton with Peyton, which if you are like me and alliteration does not always work, this is a good one. Hone your skills in painting with Peyton, our parent and family panel, and our Friday at 5, which I'm going to ask JD to kind of set the mood for a Friday at 5 event for the students so that they can get, again, excited in the way that you got us excited about the lecture.
There are just so many P's, painting with Peyton, parent and family. It was just a lot of P's, but just.
Oh my goodness, yes. So many exciting events with P names and without P names. Fridays at 5 is really an amazing event for students to take advantage of. I think what's great about having this as a DFAS programming or DDFAS programming this year is that it's really going to give you an insight into what experiences you might have at William & Mary. Fridays at 5 are something that happen throughout the entire year. Alma Mater Productions is our student programming board here on campus, and they sponsor Fridays at 5 every Friday of the semester for students to showcase their kind of musical or comedic talent on the Sadler Terrace. And so it's a great kind of way to just be like walking around campus on a Friday afternoon. Maybe you just finished your last class, you're walking across the Sadler Terrace and you realize that there's a Friday at 5 happening. You see your friends sitting there grabbing dinner from the Tribe truck or bringing out their Sadler dinner plates. And it's just a really kind of great event that kind of just reminds you of the different opportunities that you'll have here at William & Mary and the different kind of experiences that you might just stumble across, whether it be a concert on the Sadler Terrace or a lecture in a hall that you wanted to study in, or an unforeseen a cappella concert at the Wren Building. It's just exciting to know that you can kind of stumble upon these different events here at William & Mary, and there's always something going on. And I think this is a great way to kind of get a taste of that.
Thank you, JD. And I love how things have been made access virtually so you can still be a part of the community, even if you're not physically on campus. So that's been really exciting, and hopefully it gets you all excited as well. Thank you, JD. You're the best hype man ever. So these are the last couple of things that we want you to remember as you continue along your college journey, making these informed decisions. Sign up for the Days for Admitted Student programs. We put together, as my colleague said, over 100 different programs in many different directions that will kind of satiate any of your interests, hopefully give you the most information to make the most informed decision. Following up with that, we have our deposit deadline, which is May 3rd. Please let us know if you're having any trouble with either depositing or any other extenuating circumstances. Get in contact with your regional dean, or anybody from the dean staff will drop in the contact information in the next slide. And check your mail. I cannot say it enough, but we've done things. Our mascot has went far and wide to deliver special packages to you all. So please feel free to check your mail. We do have some social media engagement on Instagram and Facebook, but there should be a surprise waiting for you or coming in the mail soon. Do want to open it up now for questions. I think I'm going to stop share and just be humans with you all for a minute and engage that way. But we see a couple of questions are coming up, so I'm going to stop the share and get into that. As I click on things, if anybody wants to read the question, feel free.
I got you. So Jada has a question, and she said, are there any initiatives to diversify fields like STEM or political science where BIPOC is underrepresented? Are there any initiatives to ensure diversity in the classroom and residence halls? Can you speak about the multicultural clubs, organizations, and safe spaces at William & Mary? So I guess to start on the kind of academic side of things, there are student organizations directly geared towards diversity in particular majors and subject areas. So whether that's the sort of pre-health oriented fields, whether that's the STEM fields, as you've mentioned, definitely a lot of attention being paid towards the STEM fields and diversity within those areas. So you'll see a lot of student organizations, but what I will say about William & Mary that I think is incredibly important to consider is we do not put all of that weight on students. It's not strictly your responsibility to go out. We love your voice, but we don't want to put all of that on you. So there's also faculty initiatives behind that. For example, working very specifically with across campus with either our chief diversity officer, putting those diversity officers in certain academic areas as well. So in arts and sciences, in the School of Education, in the business school, in the law school, so that we're able to really think about diversity in all of those areas and not strictly just diversity overall, but how is it really going into the particular academic areas on campus? That's something that we're looking into and working through as professionals on this campus as well. That's happening right now. So you'd be able to go on our website, for example, and see a new person working towards diversity initiatives within the School of Education, or someone within the School of Arts and Sciences that's in the works and happening sort of as we speak, that you guys will be able to take advantage of. And then when you think about things like diversity in the classroom and diversity in residence halls, that's sort of our stuff, right? That's admissions, that's our bread and butter. It's really to make sure that we are really thinking about diversifying this space. So if you think about diversity and equity and inclusion in a number of parts, diversity being the numbers, the quantifiable piece of bringing diverse aspects, diverse people, diverse backgrounds to campus. That's our part of it. Then there's the inclusion piece of it. And the inclusion piece of it is where student affairs and student organizations, and they're able to kind of come together and talk about the experience and really think about the experience that students have when they're here. So it's kind of a multifaceted approach to being able to do all those things, and they're kind of happening at the same time. So that's kind of my piece on that. Now, when we think about what we're doing in the way that we read and review y'all's applications, we're reading and reviewing applications with diversity and inclusion in mind. We're thinking about our community when we're reading those applications. We're thinking about building a whole class, and we're thinking about you as an individual, but we're also thinking about the entire community as we're building it. So that's sort of how we're thinking about the diversifying the classrooms and the residence halls, making sure our clubs and organizations have diverse voices and diverse people. That's our part of the equation.
Tish, I'm a fact person. Can we have some of the facts to them about what our engagement in this last year has looked like, just so that they get an idea of the work around kind of increase of diverse voices and within our community?
So as far as within the admission scope of things?
Yeah, within the admission scope.
So you guys, I'm sure you've probably seen everywhere that we've increased our applicant pool this year, increased by 23%. And people talk a lot about that because it's huge, it's a really big deal. But the really big thing that we were super excited about, that our admissions office in general was super excited about, was that the number of underserved students within that pool increased at the same rate. So it wasn't as if that pool increased and we did not see that increase in the students that we serve most directly, right? So that allowed us to be able to admit a class that is the most diverse class that we've admitted in the history of our college. So we've had the opportunity, we had an increase of, you guys actually, Jackie, you put me on the point. I should have pulled up information, but I think we had a 12% increase, I think, in underserved students of color. I can't remember the increase directly in first generation students off the top of my head, but it was a double-digit increase in first generation students as well. We also had a significant increase in Pell eligible students this year too. And I can get all that stuff pulled up for you guys so that we can have facts and figures as we jump to other questions. But yep, JD.
So we had a 19% increase for students of color, a 19% increase for Latinx students, a 13% increase for Black students, and a 20% increase for first generation students. I note as a specific kind of thing beyond that, that while we can do so much in our offices and admit the most diverse class that we can, it's been amazing to see students kind of turn it around once they get here and force the administration to add more diversity to the classrooms as well. Megan sent a link to the chat about the Student Assembly's plan to increase diversity and make racial reparations here on campus. Part of that was a charge to the administration to hire more diverse faculty and staff to ensure students in the classroom make sure that they see themselves reflected in the faculty teaching them.
And that's all kind of also coming out of a group of, for diversity and access sort of group of professionals, right? From the chief diversity officer that kind of reports directly to our president. And what we've been tasked with doing is looking at every piece of our campus and being able to make the changes necessary and really with the student push behind those changes. So I think one of the things that we pride ourselves on doing as admissions folks is really listening for your voice in your applications, because we know we need those strong voices when students get here. That's how we kind of push change. You guys pay for this school to run, really. So, you know, when you push and you push for change is when we see that change and when we're here to support that change. So that's sort of what's happening at the moment.
Thank you, everyone, for coming through with the facts.
Team effort.
The facts. And sometimes the facts make decision-making a little bit easier because you have concrete. So love the storytelling, love the facts that go together. Are there any more questions or maybe insight? We don't want to beat you up with requiring questions, but we do want to offer the space to get your questions answered. We did drop in there some links to explore around diversity and access, some more of the virtual visit opportunities, but you guys have all the virtual visit opportunities through the portal, through your portals right now, through our Days for Admitted Students, majors and minors, because those might still be questions out there. I still highly suggest going to the academic advising session, especially if you have questions around your major or things like that. Most of our students don't select their major until later on into their career. So we're still at the beginning phase of that little squiggly line. You have some time before the squiggly line parts of deciding majors, but if you want to explore that as well as campus life. Also, hi Darius, hello, we literally all remember you from Autumn Blast, so we're happy that you're here. Just had to give Darius a special shout out because he hung with us throughout the entire Autumn Blast, and now it's good to see him on the other side. So we do take into consideration, we are looking for strong voices, strong personalities, people who are present in their college journey, in their experience. So we all remember Darius, so hello there. I didn't mean to read that out loud, but it happened.
Also, I just wanted to maybe jump in and elaborate a little bit more on the second half of Jada's question, which was, can you speak about multicultural clubs, organizations, and safe spaces? We sent a link to the chat that directs you to tribelink.wm.edu. That's where you can see all of our list of kind of clubs and organizations that are student run here on campus. I wanted to emphasize that while we have kind of every type of multicultural organization that you could probably imagine for every type of diverse background, I think it's also important to note that there are safe spaces across campus as well. The Center for Student Diversity predominantly is a wonderful place for students to just go and hang out and kind of just feel comfortable and safe. I think I see so many students who just comment on kind of the time that they spent in that office as something that was provided them with that kind of warm feeling that they were always looking for. But again, I kind of wanting to get back to that a little bit more as well and say that when I came to William & Mary, I joined the Latin American Student Association, and I was terrified to go to my first meeting. I did not know, how it would be accepted. And they were beyond excited to see me and welcome me. So, no matter how small a part of your identity may be, or even if it's not part of your identity, but you have an affinity or an appreciation for their culture, those people are always willing to have you and welcome you into those organizations and into those spaces to make sure that you feel kind of comfortable and welcomed wherever you are on campus.
And there are a couple of student organization-based sessions on our Days for a Minute students. So consider attending those. There are some, I believe we have an organization kind of rally up. Maybe Megan, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are a number of different ways for you to engage. The other thing that I would encourage is go and visit our admission page on Instagram. We typically follow many of the clubs and organizations. I know JD mentioned earlier that if acapella is your jam, we have like 15 acapella groups and we follow all of them. So you're welcome to go and see what they have going on. Some student groups are partnering, like the Alma Mater Productions, they're partnering. So they're also kind of engaging in this opportunity to engage with students and help you be the most informed. So feel free to reach out that way. I'm not seeing any more questions per se on here, but I do want to offer each of my colleagues any other last words as people maybe think on their last questions, but anything that you would like to offer students before we kind of jump off if there are no more questions.
I would just join with what JD was just mentioning about even if there's not something there that you can absolutely create it. Something that has really inspired me from students is the creation of the First Generation Low Income organization here at William & Mary. I know some of us on this panel serve as mentors, which is such a great honor because I don't want to stop getting to know you guys after I read your application. So, it's great to kind of have these check-ins and these students in this organization. They're so inspiring. And, there's special advisors. They've made like a handout on like the best way to navigate William & Mary for different resources. They've identified faculty that are first gen, all in the sense, in the goal of just trying to have that sense of belonging and know that, these people understand where I'm coming from here. It's not just, obvious or anything. So, it's anything that you would need. I hope each of you could find your community here or create it and know that it could be supported.
And I think the last thing that I think is super important is that I think, you guys have a big decision to make. You see me lean in. I used to be a high school counselor, so that's what the lean in means. But you guys have a big decision to make about where you're going to go, and it's where you're going to put yourself into, and it's where you're going to connect yourself to for the next, I said, the next however many years, where you're going to meet friends and where you're going to, where you're going to learn so much that's going to kind of propel you afterwards. And I think it's just as much of what you put into it as it is what you get from it. But I do think it's important to be considering what you get from it. It's very important for you to be considering what this university can do for you and how it can support you, and can it support you. So as you kind of make your decision and you move forward, I say this and I absolutely mean it, and people don't always take me up on it, but please reach back out to us. Many of us, we care a lot about this place, and I'll say it again, but we've gotten over time, we do admissions work because we care a lot about you guys. So if you have questions, if you feel like you're in the middle of one of those sessions and you have a question, and it might be a diversity and access question, and you're thinking, I don't know if I want to ask this right now, but I want to get this answer, you can definitely feel bold enough to be able to do so. But if you want to ask it in another way, if you want to ask it to someone else, you can also feel free to reach back out to one of us as well. And we'll be happy to navigate some of those questions for you, or to dig a little bit deeper for you. Jada, that was a really good question. And that's the sort of question that you should be asking in each session that you get into, right? The kind of things that require people to answer stuff that's of importance to you. So you guys keep that up and then reach back out to us if you happen to even want just a little bit more that you didn't feel like you got answered, because we're happy to point you in the right direction.
I was going to recommend that for every session you go to beyond this one, make sure to ask the people who are leading the session something along the lines of, what's the one resource that you provide for students that you wish more people took advantage of, or that you wish more people knew about? I think the thing about William & Mary is that there are so many programs and opportunities in place to help students that it can sometimes be overwhelming to know where to start or where to look. But by knowing that every person and every administrator here is here to help you and guide you through this process, just knowing to ask those questions and take advantage of every opportunity is going to help guide you through it. No one goes into higher education for the fame and fortune of it. We go because we care about you all. And so that's true for every office across campus, and really kind of make sure that you know how they can support you through your time at William & Mary or at whatever institution you choose to attend.
Yeah, I would say my best advice for you all, just coming from a position as a former college counselor, is you all are not alone in this. So even though it might seem like this whole process of, figuring out financial aid and then putting in deposits and everything else is incredibly overwhelming, and you're the only person who's kind of following all these deadlines, you're not the only person. You are not, this burden is not on your shoulders alone. So please reach out to your college counselor, your guidance counselor. If you have questions about anything, reach out to us. If we're not able to answer that question directly, we will forward you wherever you need to go. We absolutely do not want this to come down to in April, or I guess now it's May 2nd, decision of, you haven't heard from whatever you need to make this final decision. Reach out. We are here and we're happy to help you in any way we can.
Thank you, everyone. Again, we may not be here for the glitter and gold, but we are here to drop jewels. And I would like to say that all of my colleagues have dropped some really good gems to you all. Seek out the help. We're here to support. I did go back here just to say, she said May 2nd, but remember, don't wait till the last minute. But if it is down to the wire and you need that additional help, please, please, please contact us as needed. We really are here to help. I did want to drop back here just to say these are the ways that you can contact us, as well as finding our contact information directly on the Meet the Deans page. If somebody wants to drop that in the Q&A or in the chat feature, that would also be a helpful way. But many of you have been in contact with us. We've been in contact with you, and we're really excited and happy that you've made it to this point. Hopefully we'll be able to welcome you here in the fall, and hopefully this section also help you in your process of making your decisions. I'm gonna stop share. I'm getting this good light and now I can see, but thank you for dropping the Meet the Committee in there. It's in the chat for everyone to see. But if we have no further questions, we will be signing off. Again, check out some of those programs. I think you'll really enjoy them. Oh, yes. Yes, so make sure that if you missed this one is being recorded, all our sessions will be recorded. Just saying it out loud for anybody who needs to hear it, for it to stick. Still have questions, again, ask us and tag us in your WM Digital DFAS unboxing or anything like that. We do nice tasty videos. If you just want to show us your hands, we'll accept that as well. We hope you're getting excited about that information. Yes, and the info for this fabulous team that you see here is right there. After this, you'll receive a survey. Please tell us any information that can help you or help us in the future with programming. Really do appreciate it. Darius, my man.
All right. I think we are good to go. It was really good to talk to all you guys, and hopefully we will see you on campus.
See you soon. Bye.
Enjoy Digital GFAS, everyone.
Yes, thank you.